Stevie here. I wanted to pay a visit to Amoeba Records, aka Amoeba Music. I used to work at the one on Sunset Boulevard. This is the newer location, so let's take a look inside. Thanks for joining me, and if you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe today. Let me show you the outside of it. See here. This is before we go in. The older one was a lot more bigger. I mean, the old one had like a dumbwaiter. This is my boy Sandor right here. Let's see if he sees me. This is my boy Sandor. Sandor! Sandor! Sandor? I'm doing a vlog! It's my boy Sandor. All right, well, I'm gonna go in there now.
It's like good.
What's up, man? How you been? I'm doing a vlog of Amoeba. Is that okay?
Here by me.
This is my buddy Sandor. Can I ask you a question?
Always.
Is there a dumbwaiter like the old location in here? Remember the dumbwaiter that used to put the records in? Okay.
Well, there is one in the back. Just
there
it's
is?
not available for the public.
Oh, gotcha.
You
gotcha.
wanted to tag it up, don't you?
No. I was just wondering. So me and Sandor worked together in early 2000, right?
Yeah.
I just did a song with Gino. So say hi to Gino.
Gino was here
What's
just
up?
a few days ago. What's
Really?
up, Gino?
What's
Yeah.
up, Gino? And then we were recording a song and we were talking about you. We saying that we missed you.
Well, put some
Yeah.
vocals on it,
And
too.
then me and Sandor used to watch Pride Fighting Championships
At my dad's place.
at his dad's place. So
Big Fedor Tomo Noguera.
well, hold up. What about this one? Shout out to Igor Vochanchin
You go with the hammer for
and Kasuji. Hi, that's Karen. That's Karen.
Sakuraba.
And Kasuji Sakuraba. Okay.
Days.
So we're here at Amoeba. How long has this location been here?
3 years, give or take.
3 years.
We opened mid-pandemic.
Okay. And then, can you explain what? Because this is a very important position you have here.
Yeah.
So, what can you explain to them what you do here?
Use, buy, and sell.
Use, buy. So,
Whatever people jack from Target and places like that, they bring it right here and we pay out cash.
not only that, if you're a musician, if you're an independent artist, you could sell on consignment your CDs or records or tapes.
We used to do that, but now it's more corporate.
Oh, you don't do that anymore?
It's more corporate these days.
Okay.
This is the only record store in town. We
This-
deal with the majors.
There is one on the boulevard, though. I just want to let you know. There's one like 2 blocks down. So I'm going to do a walkthrough. Is Travis King still here?
No, we left 20 years ago.
Chris Carmina?
There's like 5 people you'll recognize out
I love me some Carmina.
there. You'll see Jimmy, he'll put you in a headlock.
Or Jimmy's still here?
Is he?
Okay, so thanks for tuning in. I'm going to do the walkthrough right now. And so thank God. If you want to sell your stuff and you have some stolen goods, go to my man Sandor here, and he'll set you up with
Bring it straight from Target right here.
straight from Target right to this counter. All right.
Good luck out there.
So they started playing some music, so I wanted to commentate. This new location, it's cool. The other one I miss a lot. It was a lot more expansive, but I'm walking through here. I haven't been here in a while, and like I wanted to take a quick right, and then I see 45s to my right and left. And so I don't really know the store a lot. This is new here. See all these knickknacks and candles, puzzles and board games. They never had this back in the day. So I was kind of like tripping out. Like they never had the mugs and like all the board games. So this was all new. Back then it was mostly raw goods, like as far as just like whatever. Oh, like see the headphones? We never had that back then. Even the Amoeba photo booth, that was non-existent back then when I worked there. Like that's new. All the headphones are new. So I'm making my way. I don't know where to go, and I end up right here. I slowed this part down because see that album, Smashing Pumpkins, Siamese Dream, with those two girls on the cover. This album means a lot to me because it bookmarks a time in my life when I was at Arizona State. I met this girl at my dorm, and she offered to pierce my nose, and so I remember going into her room, and like I was scared, and she took an ice cube on my nose, and she played this album, and on top of that, she played one particular song called Mayonnaise, and it just stands out because she was close to crying, like while she was singing it. She was like, fool enough to almost be it, cool enough to not quite see it, doomed. Pick your pocket full of sorrow, run away with me tomorrow, June. And like she was like, her eyes were like tearing up, and I'm like, whoa, she must like really like this band a lot. And so that really stood out to me. So I think I didn't ask for the CD then and there because she was about to pierce my nose, but I think later on I asked to borrow it, and I listened to it, and I really enjoyed Smashing Pumpkins. I don't know if this is their first or second album, but it just resonates with me because she basically sold the song to me because she was so passionate. Her eyes were like clenched closed, and she was like, she knew every lyric, and she was like nearly screaming the song in it. And so that one song is my favorite because she really sold it to me. So definitely check out Smashing Pumpkin, Siamese Dream, but especially Mayonnaise. I don't know what track it is, but Mayonnaise. So I also like Hall & Oates a lot. I grew up with that stuff. I saw the Runaways there. I can't name every album. Fleetwood Mac stands out. There's Kendrick. Pulp Fiction is one of my favorite movies, but I just wanted to show you like their variety of posters. They have like limited edition posters on the walls everywhere. Some of them are pretty expensive. Like, see those cashiers right there that you just saw? That was my job, and then they shifted me over to the warehouse where I was case switching CDs. There's Slim Kid Trey from The Far Side, Newmark from Jurassic 5, so support that, get that 45. So I'm looking around, and yeah, here's the rock pop section. I have to pause it here because of Tom. So I don't know if y'all know this, but me and Tom are from the same hometown, Poway, and we went to the same high school. You ended up being homecoming king. Me and my homeboy Rich Salo used to watch him skateboard with Dan Rogers. Tom was very liked at school. He invited me one night to go skateboarding with him at in front of Target and Penguin's yogurt shop, and afterwards I went to his house, and I guess his family was religious, but his mom prayed, put her hand on my head and started like speaking in tongues, like it kind of scared me. But fast forward to when I went to Arizona State, my friend Jimmy Gussetti and Glenn Arenas came to visit me, and they had all of Blink-182's CDs, and they kept saying, oh my God, Tom's on MTV, he made it. I'm like, what? I was confused because back then, like, when they played local parties, like, like all the high school kids, like some of them paid attention, but some of them didn't. But I was just happy, and I was shocked at the same time that he was basically a rock star. And this was I found out when I was in Arizona, but so shout out to Tom and Blink-182. So I'm just checking out the aisle still, I just wanted to complete the whole store to show you the entirety of this store, and I wanted to, there's too much. Like The Cure really resonates with me. I mean, I had so many puppy love crushes listening to, songs like Close to Me. I mean, Depeche Mode stands out too. I grew up with Depeche Mode. I went to the Music for the Masses concert in 8th grade with Nicole Diarman, and they had a lot of songs like A Question of Time, It's a Question of Lust, It's a Question of Lust, It's a Question of Trust, It's a Question of Not Letting What We've Built up crumble to dust. I don't even know why I remember the lyrics still, but my mom drove us to the Music for the Masses concert, and I realized that the whole band had synthesizers. And then I also, when I worked at Coffee Bean Tea Leaf, I saw the Gorillaz at the Palladium, and that's a great album too, Kings of Convenience. I think that's their first album. That's a great album. And then Iron Maiden. We grew up with Iron Maiden in the 80s. There's too much at Amoeba Records. You could get lost in here, literally. I just saw a Police vinyl, but this album. Hold on, I gotta pause it right here. So this Portishead Dummy album really brings back some horrible memories. It was one of the worst days of my life. I love the music now. I could appreciate it, but back then, I thought Beth Gibbons was an actual witch, okay? Because this is back when I was at Ocotillo dorms at ASU, and me and my homeboy Kendall, we wanted to drop some LSD tabs, and I was working at Barrow's Pizza at the time, and this was during winter break. And back then I had a boombox, right? And then he really liked track 3. I think it's called Strangers. It had like this really kind of like a trippy kind of like drum and bass slowed down, boom, 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 boom. So anyway, we had this one particular song, track 3, Strangers, on repeat while we were on acid. And to make the long story short, I had to take a shit, and before we decided to drop the LSD, we went to Circle K to get orange juice and like Newport cigarettes and Skittles and like whatever, all of our little supplies. But anyway, I must have drank too much orange juice, and I had to go to the bathroom, and while I was taking a shit, I could still hear Strangers on a loop, and I basically saw a ghost dimension open up in my dorm room bathroom, where I saw dead people in my dorm room bathroom looking at me like, that painting The Scream. I've said this story in the past, but for those of you who are new to my channel, this is I'm rehashing it, right? So I saw dead people in my dorm room bathroom, and my buddy Kendall, he was from the East Coast. He was actually a good rapper. He had the East Coast kind of like the Mobb Deep, Buckshot Shorty flavor. He'd always say like, "Done, yo, what's up, Done? You good, Done?" And like, so I was in there too long looking at the dead people in the dorm room bathroom listening to Portishead. And what the mistake that I made was, I opened the door, and I told him that there was demons. I don't know. I should have maybe rephrased it, but I should have said there was ghosts in there. But I said, "Man, there's demons in there. You got to go check them out." And from that point on, the day got worse. Okay, so he ended up. I mean, it was one of the weirdest days of my life. We ended up trying to dance in the room, and then I was seeing like these electricity kind of like visuals in like the in the brick in the dorm room, on the inside of the dorm room, like the living room area, and I ended up throwing up in the trash can. He ended up reading Bible verses to me, and Kendall thought it was a good idea to go outside onto the campus. And I didn't know this. I was just like chain smoking Newport cigarettes, and he ended up leaving. And to make the long story short, he ended up getting pepper sprayed by like 5 campus police cops. He ended up actually walking onto, like, everything was closed because it was winter break, but like the bus transit system was open, so he ended up walking onto a bus and grabbing a girl's arm, and they called that in, and he tried to run onto campus in front of the student rec center. That was like the campus gym, and so he ended up getting pepper sprayed. But I while this is happening, I had no idea this was going down. So it started getting dark, and I started worrying, and I skateboarded to, back then there was a local record shop called Tower Records where our homie Ken, Yellow Jacket, shout out to Ken, he worked there, and he knew I was on something, because I'm like, have you seen Kendo Man? And like, yeah, so that was a horrible day. That doesn't take away from to the fact that this is a great album. The music is good if it alters your mental state, especially when you're on a hallucinogenic. Okay, so shout out to Portishead, shout out to Beth Gibbons. I to this day I can't listen to the album because of the story I just told you. But yeah, that's a true story. And then I won't. This is the last time I'm gonna like slow it down. But yeah, when I saw that album, I just felt compelled to share that story. So yeah, listen to Portishead. This is, I think, their first album. Great album, just awesome. The beats are great, songwriting's great. Track 3 is what. Track 3, Strangers, is what led to this disastrous day for me at ASU, where I saw a ghost dimension as well as my homeboy getting arrested, and that's that story. But that's some hardcore music there. That something that could affect you in that way. Yeah, I just saw Nirvana's album. This is something new. Back then, they didn't have this available. That you couldn't get turntables at Amoeba back then. Like, this is like when I worked there with Sandor in the early 2000s. So that's a cool addition that they offer to sell portable record players. But yeah, if you're out of town and you want to check this out, this is pretty overwhelming. Yeah, I just saw Lauryn Hill's album as well as the Smiths. That album really affected me. Like, what a poet, huh? I don't know what Lauryn Hill's up to nowadays, but yeah, that album affected me too. It's beautiful, some beautiful writing. But yeah, I just wanted to show you the entirety of the whole store. Again, yeah, they do have DVDs available. In my closet, I still have like a bunch of DVDs that I bought from the Mezzanine, and we're going to get to that in a second. But yeah, as you can see, yeah, there's some Marvin Gaye, there's an info desk. So, but if you're from out of town, it can be overwhelming. There's Tyler, the Creator. Jeff Buckley, MF Doom. Jeff Buckley has an interesting story. I don't know if this is correct, but I think, didn't they find him in a river or something? I think he has a pretty sad story. Again, you already know who they are. Don't want to. Yeah. Shout out to the OGs. Yeah. I think that was the Clash. I don't know. Too many. Oh, okay. So, again, Ian Curtis, Joy Division. That's actually a sad story too, right? The Buckley story and the Ian Curtis story. But anyway, if you're out of town, come check this out. They have. Oh, I grew up with that too. That's why I stopped there. Big Audio Dynamite. Yeah, like in middle school, I got somewhat into the British invasion. Somewhat, I really loved Madness, and like growing up, that was probably one of my favorite groups. Is Madness. I don't know. I was like, maybe my mom knows this K-pop star, but yeah. I think the U2 poster at the end of this aisle kind of grabbed my attention. And that's another album, Joshua Tree. That brings up a lot of memories. That was like, when I was in high school, that was like a full-on drinking album. Like, we'd meet at my friend STEEBEE'S and like my friends Glenn and Reed Whitman and just the whole like Nixie. I wasn't so much of a Southern Comfort drinker, but back then in high school, they were drinking that stuff like Gatorade. And so, yeah. So I think I wanted to get to, because I'm like, will I be able to cover
didn't know how much memory was in my phone. Will I be able to cover the entirety of the store, which I think I did cover. Okay, so now we're kind of approaching the mezzanine area, aka like the movie area, where when I worked at the old Amoeba, the mezzanine had a completely different section. If you had to walk up these steps, and then that's how expansive the movie area was. I mean, they till this day they still have a. I think I'm gonna like point to it. They sell laser discs, but I remember. I mean, they have so many cool documentaries. Fargo, that's one of my favorite movies. Can't talk enough about that. But yeah. So this mezzanine areas, I always thought it was cool. Like, and that's really cool. All the movie posters. Fear and Loathing, great movie. And I think, yeah, we're approaching the world area, as well as I think we're getting, yeah, I wanted a adult animation, anime. I mean, it goes on and on. If you haven't been here, you have to check it out. So this is on Hollywood Boulevard in Argyle, I believe. Back then it was on Sunset Boulevard and Vine, I think, if I remember correctly. But, I mean, and every type of genre they have. I mean, you just saw they have classical. They have, like, I mean, you could get anything, beanies, hats. But this area, I had to get this because it's like, dude, how cool is this? They still sell cassette tapes. Isn't that cool? So if you're a collector, I mean, a lot of these cats, I remember back then, there was, like, independent people that would buy out their, like, vinyl, like the cheap vinyl, and then they would resell the stuff online, like on eBay and stuff. So that you had like a bunch of customers that just did that would just go in and buy bundles and bundles of records, and that was their hustle. They would like buy out all of like the clearance vinyl, and that was their business, and they would just online business, like just sell their records online. And this is another cool area, and I would sample a lot of this stuff, like a lot of my earlier projects, because I couldn't afford, like I was like broke, and so I would just like look at like the crappy cheap jazz clearance CDs. And so this area is cool because yeah, they sell books, and yeah, I had to check out, I had to give him some love. Shout out to Doom. And then why am I looking? Oh, because I'm like, oh, Thurston Moore from, yeah, I'm like, okay, I like Sonic Youth. But yeah, so this area is books, novels, and posters. And so, I mean, this seems pretty big and expansive. Okay, Guided by Voices, I love. So shout out to Guided by Voices and Robert Pollard. He's actually, if I remember correctly, he recorded a lot of his stuff on 4-track, and he was a middle school, high school teacher. But he recorded, and I think he's from Ohio, Dayton, Ohio. So look up, if you're not familiar with Guided by Voices, look them up. My brother got me into him. He was, when I first moved to Silver Lake, him and my brother and our roommate Clickstow really got me into them. They actually have a documentary out too that you should check out. I mean, there's too much to name here, but I'm just kind of like talking about the stuff that like resonates with me. And as you could see, I mean, the store is super big, but just also remember the store that I worked in was bigger than this one. So yeah, I wanted to highlight that K-pop. Maybe my mom will see this vlog. So I mean, the store's so big they have an info desk. But I think like I asked Sandor like earlier, he said you'll only recognize 4 or 5, and I did recognize them while I was doing this walkthrough, but I didn't want to like, hey, what's going on? And I didn't want to like interrupt their workflow, but I did recognize some of my old coworkers, and I obviously had to highlight the hip hop section, which is cool. They have every single genre, and I think I'm looking because I know they accepted some of my old CDs that I used to make, and then they would put it in the homegrown section, but they're no longer there. So I thought that was cool. They have like, man, they have so much. Yeah, I had obviously, it's one of my favorite groups ever, De La. But this is cool. They have a reggae section. So if you come here, definitely like plan on spending, I mean, if you really want the whole experience, you could spend hours inside the store. I mean, look at these posters on the wall. Like, some of them are pretty expensive. And then look, they even have, I was talking to my friend Danny Kim. I'm like, yeah, like comedians used to have like albums, like Richard Pryor and George Carlin. They used to have like actual comedy albums. So I thought that was cool. Like, as you can see, I'm trying to speed up the process here, and I wanted to at least get to the t-shirts. So what's cool is they have like a shit ton of like t-shirts you could buy too. I ended up buying, like, I was looking at a David Bowie t-shirt, but I'm like, I should just get an Amoeba one, because I think, I wanted to, like, support, since they did employ me back then. So shout out to Karen, who did hire me, and Jimmy Henderson as well. And then I wanted to give a shout out to Chris Carmina. I think he's their site manager, or their store manager. At least back then he was, and we always had a really good relationship. But if you come here, you could like Sandor, just go to Sandor if you want to sell stuff over the counter. I think it's a kind of a bummer that they don't like sell stuff on consignment, which was kind of a cool thing they did back in the day for independent artists. But look, they even have a world music section. I mean, you could spend hours and hours and hours in this place. This place is so cool. You know what's another cool thing about Amoeba is, like, with the onslaught of like Spotify and all these digital platforms, it's cool to see that a place like Amoeba, which is a mom and pop record store, still like in business. That's so cool. I mean, I'm a huge Police fan. I mean, Synchronicity, I mean, that album, like, if you're on an island, you could just listen to Synchronicity. That's a great album. So yeah, I was going to end it. I think I'm going to end it soon, because I was trying to see where my mind was. I'm like, okay, well, at least I covered the whole store. I think at this point I wanted to pick out a t-shirt to purchase, because, I told Sandor, I'm doing a vlog, dude. And then I saw Karen, when I waved at Karen, she's one of the owners, and so I'm like, okay, well, at least they know, and no one stopped me so far. And so I wanted to get a t-shirt. So definitely visit Amoeba Records. It's a great store. There's a location up in the Bay Area as well, I think in Berkeley. But definitely check it out. Thanks for tuning in. Love you. So thanks for tuning in. If you're around, go visit Amoeba. I bought a t-shirt. It's on Hollywood Boulevard, Hollywood and I think Vine. Yeah, we're on Hollywood and Argyle. I used to work at a Coffee Bean down the street too. But if you're around, it's a great store. They have everything imaginable. Get yours today. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, like and share the video. Love y'all, and check out my EP, my latest EP. I know I've been promoting a lot for it, but no one else is. Kwang Ooh. Love y'all. Maybe my thumbnail. This is my thumbnail, huh? Walking like a badger, my stature is so short. The camera tends to capture tiny ball on tennis court. These words stay, don't leave these songs astray. Even when we passed away, the music's passed away. We gotta make a move, my little dude, fetch your suit. Don't wanna be removed by a scud, that's a cue.